Greetings from northern Brazil. We hope that each of you are doing very well. Again, thank you for all of your prayers and support, especially at this time as our church is trying to purchase some property so that we can build. And we had mentioned before all the bureaucracy here in Brazil. It's a very high level of bureaucracy, but having gotten through that, we were able to organize the church before the Brazilian government, which obtained a tax number. So the church is now able to function within the economy. We were also able to open a bank account for the church, which has now made it possible for the church to actually have money and put it towards a purchase. The current issue we're running into now is the way the economy in this country works for the purchase of property. There's not the safety net that makes it easy to just purchase land or a house, even if you have a low down payment. What the seller wants is most of the money because they know if you don't pay the rest, there's very little chance of them getting it from you. And so they're looking at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% down, and then we would just pay the rest in payments, which that obviously shifts things for us. And so we went to the bank. We asked the bank, would we be able to get a loan? Of course, we just opened the account in January, and they said that they cannot give us a loan until we've been with them for a year so that they can get to know us because the bank itself is leery of just giving loans away. So we can't get a loan for the bank, and we have to do a heavy down payment. Now, the third factor in this is that in our particular city, I'm not sure if it's because it's considered a tourist city in our state, but land is going for a lot of money. We just looked at a piece of property, a little over 1,000 square meters, which actually would be a great size for our church. Maybe even maybe more than we need. I don't, I don't know what exactly Lord will have in store for the future. But the asking price was just astronomical. In fact, the people that told us or found out the price for us, they about fell over backwards. And the reason I have people finding out the price for us is another little detail. I have the accent of an American, and many people will think, oh, that means he's got a bunch of money, and therefore we're going to raise the price. And so people will tell me in our church, hey, you don't do any of the negotiating, we'll do it for you. And so that's what they're doing and trying to figure out. But they themselves were told a price that was very, very high. And so we're actually now looking at some other properties. So we've negotiated on 2 properties. Both of those fell through because they were asking something much higher for a down payment than we thought was possible or reasonable. And then this last one I just had mentioned, just too high altogether. We are currently looking at it's 2 homes, two pieces of property. It's about 750 square meters total for the 2 properties, 2 different owners right next to each other. And the idea would be to purchase both, and it actually falls within what we would be able to do financially. So, with that being said, we are now discussing this matter. In fact, the one of the properties is owned by a lady that has been coming to our church for a while. Her sister's already a member of our church, but she has just started attending, and we're not exactly sure if this is the Lord's will or not. We are. If you could just imagine, we are so ready to buy. But I know that when the human heart gets very motivated in a certain direction, it can also become impatient and make bad decisions. So I'm asking that you would pray for the Lord to give us his direction in this process and that he would bless so that we would know exactly that what we are doing is his will. I don't want to make any rash decision that would be harmful to the future of the church because once the money is spent and the land is purchased, then that's the land that you have for all intents and purposes. Now, in the same time that I'm talking about all this, I want you to know the Lord has been blessing. We just came back from camp. It was a tremendous encouragement. We traveled with 2 other churches about 15 to 16 hours south for this camp. About 300 to 350 people were in attendance. It was about not being ashamed of the gospel. God really blessed through the preaching, teaching, and fellowship that we had there. We came back. The folks gave testimonies in our church service about what the Lord had done at camp. And then just this past Sunday, I had the privilege of baptizing a grandmother and her grandson. They've been attending for some time now, got their salvation settled. Baptizing them was a real delight for us. And then we continue to press on with many other parts of this ministry here. Julie's doing a monthly Bible study. I continue teaching in the Bible Institute that has local classes here in our church, as well as the being all posted online so that we can teach anyone who speaks Portuguese, theology and ministry and so forth. And for all these things, again, I ask that you pray for them. But the main thing currently for us is praying about the purchase of property, God's direction, God's blessings, that we would know exactly what His will is. But thank you for standing with us and praying. And as always, if you ever have any questions about our ministry or family, you are welcome to get in touch with us. And we would love to talk to you. Lord bless you.